Hello there. Today I'll be telling you about the dangers of over-the-counter drugs and why they're so bad and the consequences of you taking over-the-counter drugs. Over-the-counter drugs are some of the most easiest drugs you can get your hands on, and you can find them in almost any household. Some of the easiest places to get over-the-counter drugs are simply in your bathroom or anywhere else your parents would store any medication. Over-the-counter drugs are very easy to get. They may be even one of the easiest drugs to get, but that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. In fact, they are very dangerous, and they can lead to very serious consequences. Over-the-counter drugs are very easy to get. They may be even one of the easiest drugs to get, but that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. In fact, they are very dangerous, and they can lead to very serious consequences. Over-the-counter drugs are very easy to get. They may be even one of the easiest drugs to get, but that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. In fact, they are very dangerous, and they can lead to very serious consequences. Some people think over-the-counter drugs don't have a negative effect at all. Some people even think it has a positive effect. But no, just because it's a medication does not mean it's good. It's actually really bad and can really damage your brain. Over-the-counter drugs is a very serious crime. If you take over-the-counter drugs, it'll have an even worse consequence than taking marijuana. If you take over-the-counter drugs and are caught by a principal, you may be suspended at the discretion of the principal and possible recommendation for expulsion. That may not seem like a bad consequence at first, but wait till you hear what the police think about it. As in marijuana, having a $500 fine, same as over-the-counter drugs, but is only a misdemeanor, not class 3 or anything. Just a misdemeanor, which means you will serve more time in jail if you take over-the-counter drugs than marijuana.
Hey, what is that? Are those drugs? You are suspended for 5 days, and maybe I might expel you.
Please, ma'am. That was just an example of what might happen if you get caught taking drugs in school. But this is what might happen if you're caught taking over-the-counter drugs in public and are caught by the police officers.
Drugs? You are arrested for possession of drugs.
As you can see from over-the-counter drugs being a class 3 misdemeanor, you can get in big trouble for taking over-the-counter drugs. But the consequences that you give your brain are much more serious than any punishment you can ever get. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na, lava says. There's nothing more cool than your cerebellum, which is a part of your brain. But if someone tries to mess it up with over-the-counter drugs, that's no good. It's your cerebellum. No one has a right to mess it up with over-the-counter drugs if you don't want them to. But what does the cerebellum do? First, it controls your balance. Then, it controls your posture and movement and coordination and makes you remember how to do stuff. Do you want the over-the-counter drugs to take that ability away from you? No. So what do? First you say no. Then you get out of there. Most important, you gotta tell someone you trust, like your parents, your teacher, a police officer. Thank you for telling us what over-the-counter drugs can do to your cerebellum, Lava. You're welcome. All jokes aside, over-the-counter drugs are no laughing matter. They can really affect your cerebellum in major ways. Do you want to forget how to walk, talk, heck, even breathe? I don't think you do. So if you don't take over-the-counter drugs or any other drugs, you will remember how to do those stuff and you will be healthy, unlike most unfortunate people who are under the influence of the drug. So the moral of this video is just simply not to do drugs. That's basically it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in class.